welcome back to Nightdive Studios Deep Dive. My name is Locke Vincent, and today I have a very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend behind System Shock 2 Anniversary Remaster. It's lead producer at Nightdive Studios, Daniel. How are you doing, man?
First of all, you're too kind. You're too kind. I'm all right, thank you. I'm doing very good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm very excited. This game has been cooking for a long time. I know we have some history with System Shock. You yourself, I know it's your baby. That's fair to say. But yeah, let's chat about it. Tell me a little bit about the background on this project and how you got involved with System Shock 2.
Oh, wow. Yes. So, yeah, this goes back a ways. So I remember we just finished off doing the enhanced edition for System Shock 1. And that was released. It went down really well. People loved it. And then so we started going, well, if we can do the same with System Shock 1, let's start the train for System Shock 2 enhanced edition. So we immediately got the person who had worked previously on System Shock 1 Enhanced Edition, Alex, got him to look at the code and just start doing stuff. Well, actually, I say looking at the code, I believe at the time we didn't have anything. He was kind of just reverse engineering the code on his own, which, if you are familiar with reverse engineering, I can put it this way. It's a bit like trying to extract the ingredients from an already baked cake.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
It's very, very difficult trying to put the cake back into its raw ingredients when it's already been made. So we were like, yep, you can have a look at that. And if we come across any leads for any kind of code, we'll try and sort you out with things. But so that was happening, and then the System Shock remake project was ramping up, and so I was moved over onto that project for a bit, as well as I think Doom 64 at the time. I think we were just wrapping up Doom 64 as well. But I got told, Dan, we need you over on this project to sort things out. So I jumped onto the Shock remake project, and there was a lot of hats to wear on that project. Let's see if I can remember everything that I was doing. I didn't start off as it, but I eventually ended up being a kind of co-director on the project. I was producer on the project. I was doing level design for the project. I was working on all the cyberspace levels, or near enough all of them. And I also had a fair hand with the writing, as well as just helping build the ordinary levels as well. So I did a fair amount of stuff on that project, let's say, and that was over the course of 7 years. I was also involved in the beginning as well. People might remember me from the streams that I used to do, where I BSP pushed out the game completely in Unreal Engine 4, and that whole process in and of itself took 7 months. And there was a lot of history after that. There was a lot of project changes, personnel changes. It was very difficult, and I will say that I do believe that it was kind of a miracle several times over that System Shock Remake actually ever came out at all. There were so many points in that project where it could have just, flat out just stopped, and we could have been, this is another one of those projects that's failed. Everybody just go. But no, we were really, really determined to see it through, and there were many, many challenges, but we got it over the finish line, and it was a great feeling when it finally went out to people and the reviews came in. It was absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't have been happier to be involved. But then when that project wrapped up, we did a few patches, and then I came back over onto the Cakes team. And the situation really hadn't changed that much. Alex was still working on the reverse engineering side of things, but the movement on it was obviously slow, and it was just one person working on this code base for so long, and it wasn't sustainable. It needed somebody to come in and have a look and see what could be done about it. And I took this experience from System Shock Remake, everything I'd learned about production on that side, and I came into this project with a very specific goal, which was to get a team together. We had resources now. A lot of time had passed, and we had much more people involved now on that side. And so I said, okay, let's build a team that can get this done. And so I got some artists, I got a few more programmers, and we just, assembled a team. And then it was a case of, okay, let's sit down, let's play the game, what needs to be done. Let's sort out the tasks that need to get done for this project, including some things that we'd never really done before on the keg side of things, which I can go into more detail in a little bit. But that was my overall function, just to oversee the project, make sure it was going in the right direction for this re-release, and to try and steer this ship that had been lost in very troubled waters into port. And I think we've done a very, very good job with that at the end. I'm super proud of the team coming together and just overcoming all of the obstacles we had in the production of Shock 2. But I think it's turned out really, really well. We've learned a lot about how the Dark engine works, which is the underlying code base for that. We've learned a lot about it, and we're in a very, very good position right now with the game. And I'm super happy that it came out to the reception that it did.
Yeah, I think Shock 2 is the game I've done the most work on for, like, in terms of trailer and content and that sort of thing. Just because there seems to be a release of it every 5 years that I get to play with, which I'm not complaining about, because it is one of my all-time favorites. It's really easy to work on because it's so evocative with the sound and the visuals, and just, if you've played it, you know. But maybe if you wanted to, for those at home, just kind of give us a broad, go into as much detail as you feel, but like, what did you do to this Anniversary Remaster? What are people getting? And it doesn't need to be like, oh, you're getting this and that. Just like, what are some of the favorite things that you're able to put into this one versus like the enhanced edition? So
I think the biggest thing that we can really champion was we got the game working on controllers. If you are familiar with,
it's awesome.
We had a lot of iteration going into that, but we just had to look at this very PC heavy game and go, okay, how on earth do we get this working on a controller? And like I say, it took a fair few iterations to get right and to land on something that we felt was comfortable for anybody to really play. And as we understood how the Dark engine worked, again, how windows in the interface worked, and how they're called in the engine and things like that, we were able to tap into that, because by this point we have access to the source code now for a lot of the engine, and we're able to really tap into that and figure out how it worked. And I think we came up with a system that is very very intuitive. It's still System Shock 2, so there is a bit of you do have to do things a certain way, but that's just its whole history as a very PC heavy game. But I think we've ended up with a very good solution to the problem, and in future updates we're really just kind of looking to expand on that functionality, because so we have the quick weapon select now, where you can tie things to button presses. You hold down the L1 or R1 button, and then it'll bring up a menu. And if you have assigned a weapon to the A button, for example, you would hold down R1 and then you press A, and then it would equip that weapon, instead of having to go into the inventory, find the weapon, press a button, go to equip, press the button again. It's like, okay, here's a really snappy, intuitive way to do it on consoles.
Yeah.
We also had we've never done this before either. We had some in-world button prompts now. I felt it was necessary to do that, because in System Shock 2, you have right-click to search corpse, right-click to interact with this. But I felt, could we go a step further with this? Could we have it on screen? And so they went away and they decided, okay, we have this system, and now we can show button prompts in the world. So now it says press square or press X to interact with this. That was also another big win. That might not seem that big, but for us it was just like, oh, we've finally got this in. You know, we've got these sort of on-the-fly tutorials kind of thing. So that was a pretty special moment. Another big win as well was the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So Yeah, if you're familiar with System Shock 2 back in the 90s, there's no such thing as Steam. I think M Player. Who remembers M Player? Do you remember M Player?
Like as a multiplayer thing?
Yeah,
No, I
because
don't.
I think the M was for multiplayer. Yeah,
Yeah, it must have been.
and yeah, it must have been. And there was GameSpy
I remember
and all these other
GameSpy. Yeah, I
services.
remember
Yeah,
GameSpy.
yeah,
And then
there
there's
was
the one.
them.
What was the one that you could like host a LAN, but it was a bit newer. I thought it started with an X. What the heck was that called?
Ooh, X. I'm not sure that.
It'll come
I
back
don't
to
even
me.
know. I don't even know if Hamachi was a thing
That
either.
it was that. It was Hamachi. It was
Oh,
Hamachi. Yeah,
Hamachi.
yeah, it
Right.
was
All right.
Hamachi.
Yeah,
Anyways,
you could use that, but like there was none of that back then, or if there was, they were very, very early.
yeah.
And Shock 2 didn't really use any of that. Instead, it uses a direct IP connection, which back then I think was, it wasn't as secure as it needed to, as it gradually became. It was like, yeah, just give me your IP and I'll just key it in here, and if it works, it works. And it uses direct play, which was a very old Windows built-in functionality to
Mhm.
do some redirecting somewhere and ultimately just try and end up at the destination. And then, oh, I see your name appear in the list. That means we're connected. Let's go. And with all that came the caveats of PC gaming. Really, your connection could drop any time. Running over 56K modem, which was likely the most affordable way
Mhm.
to connect to other clients back then. So it was really a thing to go in there and look at all this code that we have, and it really does stem a lot into the gameplay as well. So the multiplayer gameplay in ways I can go into, but the idea was, yeah, we need to strip this out, completely strip it out. We can't have direct connections anymore because the consoles will not allow that at all.
Right.
So how do we do it? Okay, well, we need to construct some kind of lobby system. And we need to tap into PlayStation and Xbox and Switch and all this and try and get them connecting all together in a cross-play environment, because that's the end goal. Shock 2 had 4-player cooperative multiplayer, and we have 4-player cooperative multiplayer, but wow, was it a task to get there. It was very, very, very difficult, and it still kind of remains, as of recording of this, it still does remain to be. Still does continue to be quite difficult, because there's so much that goes into it in terms of like object ownership. When you're in the game, for example, something might be designated a certain number. And then if somebody interacts with that object, then the object number becomes the property of somebody else now. And then that data is handed off from that person to that person on their local machine.
Right.
And then situations can arise from that where, oh, well, the local state didn't kind of clean out properly on this, and now we've changed level. So when we go back into it, it doesn't know the object, it doesn't know the ownership ID of this anymore, and it's completely gone wrong. Now we need to sort it out. It was so complicated to work out, but the guys have done an absolutely fantastic job in just unthreading all of this. And where it is now from what it used to be, it's a complete night and day transformation of everything. And I'm looking forward to seeing what improvements we can do to it in the future at the time of recording, obviously.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's been very, very, very challenging, but it's been so much fun to watch people run through the game and just have fun with it in a co-op kind of way.
Yeah, I had a blast recording the footage for the multiplayer trailer. Again, almost a different game. After playing Shock 2 so much, going through with a bunch of friends was a blast. And the dynamics are way different. The inventory management is way different. And yeah, just like definitely the vibes are way different. So that's a lot of fun, especially for people who are coming to this game who have played before. Playing it with a friend is definitely a way to experience this differently, which is cool.
I would say though, however, and this is I guess a kind of a little personal message. If you are playing Shock 2 for the first time, don't play it in multiplayer.
Do not.
You should probably play it in single player first to get the true experience of System Shock 2, because multiplayer really, as you said, it is a different vibe. You don't feel alone. You don't feel scared. You don't feel afraid. You've always got, oh, well, I've got my wingman behind me. He's going to sort me out if I get into trouble. No, you should definitely go into Shock 2 single player first. And then when you're comfortable enough with that, then get your friends in for a good laugh. I mean, somebody might turn around and, at work and say, you've got to play System Shock 2 again because we need this. And I'll just be thinking to myself, oh, I have to play System Shock 2? What a shame. Oh well, guess I'll jump back into it again, But I find myself in the same situation. I will play Shock 2, replay Shock 2 it used to be every, once a year, maybe once every 2 years, just to go back to it. But right now, because I've been working on the Anniversary Remaster, I've got something like 540 hours clocked up on Steam, just from me running through the game and testing. It is technically for work, yeah. But
that's what I tell my wife. I'm just like, it's for work. I got to play this game.
And I've been wanting to get into some new experiences myself. I know you mentioned Death Stranding. I really do need to get around to playing the first one of that, because everyone's talking about the second one, and I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I really need to play that. But I also started and recently finished playing through Yakuza Kiwami.
Oh, well done. Nice.
Yeah, and after coming off Yakuza 0, I thought, oh yeah, let's go straight into Yakuza Kiwami. It was a lot of fun, but wow, does that game demand quite a bit of your time if you want to 100% it.
Yeah.
I spent
those are long-ass games.
Goodness me. Yeah, they are. I think I spent about 70 hours in it, and I got about 75% overall completion of everything. And I'm thinking,
nice. That's pretty good.
That's probably enough. Yeah, that's enough. Yakuza 0 was 90%. Yakuza Kiwami was 75%. Now I was thinking to myself, do you know what? I'm done. I'm good. I've done all the sub-stories. I've fought the secret boss in the end. I've done the story. I think I'm ready to move on from this.
That's maturing as a gamer, being like, I don't need to squeeze all of the pulp out of this orange. I've got a great experience. Yep. That's enough. On to the next thing.
Especially if you can't play Mahjong like I can. If you're like me, you're clueless.
Right.
Just move on.
And even when I boot up a new Shock playthrough and I'm like, hey, what am I going to do here? And this is for any game with RPG mechanics or builds or a lot of my favorite games are like the From Software stuff. A lot of the literature and guides tend towards min-maxing, and I'm more in the camp of, no, just give me something thematic or interesting, right? And I'm less interested in oh, you can get the laser sword and just kill everything in one hit. It's like, no, I want to be like the laser stealth ninja. I don't want to min-max. I want a thematic experience. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to start writing guides about that. Just being role play guides.
Nice. Yeah. It's always fun to do that stuff and see other people's builds as well, just how they play the game. And it really is remarkable how much they let you customize that stuff. And I'm really happy From Software personally. I felt as if the earlier stuff they were kind of just maybe doing to keep the lights on, maybe, and that was it. It felt like it might have been a struggle, and the games didn't really resonate with people. But then, just this guy had an idea. Let's do this game. It's a dark fantasy RPG where it's very difficult, and let's see what happens. You get a whole new genre out of it. Now there's Soulsborne. Is that the term? Soulsborne?
I use that. I think Soulsborne is pretty good.
Yeah. And now they're everywhere and people can't get enough of them. And I'll be honest, I can't get enough of them either. I find them very fun to play. But man, you need so much time investment in those. People are saying, oh, you should play Elden Ring. But I'm like, I don't
have 150 hours.
Ring, dude. No, some people did coax me into playing Night Rain, though. I know more about Elden Ring, Night Rain than I do Elden Ring. So when I go to play Elden Ring now, I'll be like, oh, I know that boss from Night Rain. I'll know that from Night Rain. Yeah. So cool. It's just funny how it turns around. Yeah.
Right. System Shock 2 is, I'll say System Shock 1 and 2 are often considered the birth of the immersive sim. Are there any other immersive sims out there that you enjoy or are a fan of, or are you just straight shock man?
Oh no, I am not a straight shot man. I will delve into any experience really, and there's a lot of them out there these days. Although the immersive sim being the quote unquote cursed genre that it
Yes,
is, you
yes,
might not really hear about them. So, for example, I love Thief, The Dark
yes,
Project, and Thief 2, The Metal Age. I think Thief 2 and System Shock 2, it can sometimes like which is my favorite of these because they're
yeah,
both just up there for me, but I kind of think, oh, it's very close. So I will go through and give Thief 2 a good going over again because it's
nice,
just so much fun to go through those huge expansive levels
yeah,
and just have the tools that you need to do the job. It doesn't matter how you do it, just get the job done, and you can come up with some really creative and funny scenarios out of everything you do. So I love those. Deus Ex is obviously another one. Every time somebody mentions Deus Ex, somebody will reinstall it, and I hope I'm going to cause at least 3 more installs by talking about it. But oh my goodness, Deus Ex is such a relevant game. It's relevant now more than
more
ever,
than
I
ever,
think,
yeah,
just with the things that they sort of maybe predicted, maybe not intentionally, but they did predict that, you know, next it will be the self-aware systems you have invented
yeah,
to judge you. And I'm like, oh my God, what year is it? Oh, they were so good in writing that game. So
yeah,
if you
yeah,
really want an immersive sim and you've not played Deus Ex and you want to feel how relevant it is, just go play it. It's absolutely fantastic. And there's others out there as well. There's, the arcane stuff with Dishonored. Dishonored is a fantastic time as well.
shoutouts to
And there's
Prey.
some Prey. Oh my goodness, yeah, I played Prey really recently, and I thought I forgot how much fun this game was. It
Hmm.
scratches all those parts of my brain that
Yeah,
are like, I want a good immersive sim experience, but I don't want to play System Shock 2 again.
it's
What do I
Prey,
play? I
it's
play
Prey,
Prey.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
Prey,
really is good.
especially with the Moon Crash
Um,
edition where they make it a roguelite or a run based.
I've not done that
It's
DLC
a treat.
right at the
It's a
minute.
treat.
It's installed. I think I can't remember if it's installed separately or not. I do have it, and I do want to
Yeah.
get around to it. But
Um,
there's some other smaller indie games as well. You may have heard of Gloomwood.
yeah, yeah, that's been getting some
Gloomwood,
traction.
yeah, Gloomwood is an interesting one. And I think it's still in early access right now, but
Mhm.
that is looking to be a very, very promising time.
Is that
So I'm
New
looking forward
Blood?
to
Are
that.
they producing that, or is that someone
I,
else? I can't
I
remember.
think it I think it might be. I think a fella called, oh, I might be misremembering the name. Dylan, I think his name is. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, definitely check out Gloomwood as well. That's definitely shaping up to be a good time. And there's another
Um,
one as well that came out recently called Skin Deep. Skin Deep reviewed quite well as well. That's a very interesting looking immersive sim style of game. A lot of cats. If you like cats, you'll like Skin Deep. Sorry. There's also Cruelty Squad. Very unique look to that game. If you've never seen Cruelty Squad, just go look up some trailers and some images of Cruelty Squad. It is very unique. You'll not forget how that game looks for quite a while, but that is also
right.
another immersive style
Okay.
simulation game.
I didn't realize that Cruelty Squad was an immersive sim. I thought it was a boomer shooter. Um, but but yeah, yeah, shout outs to those games. Skin Deep looks really great. Coming from the guys that did 30 Flights of Loving. Why is their name escaping me? I'll add it in post. Thank you,
Blendo
Blendo,
Games.
Blendo,
There
Blendo,
you
Blendo.
go.
Yeah, their take
Yeah.
on the immersive sim. It looks really funny, tongue in cheek.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome,
Another one is Shadows of Doubt. I could go on. You've opened a can of
dude.
worms
Dude,
here.
this
I
is
could go on.
good.
Shadows of
People
Doubt
need to
is an
know. People need to know.
Yeah,
Um,
if it's a Shadows of Doubt is a immersive sim detective game where
is
you
that the
are
one where
trying
they
to work
like?
out murders.
Yeah, do they like generate things on the fly? Little
I believe they do.
procedural.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I
Yes.
I, I listened to a podcast about that, and that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
where it switches maybe the killer or something like that at the start of the game or throughout the
Mm.
game. I think that's um
Yeah, there are a lot of
yeah,
interesting games out there, and if you're a fan of the genre, yeah, go out and explore and try and play as many as you can to get a because that's really how you kind of that is it is one part into getting into game development. Is just
yeah,
yeah, it's not the only rule you should follow, but yeah, play a lot of games, get a lot of experiences
yeah,
under your belt, and just find out how what went right, what went wrong with things, and try and build on those.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely
Expand your
encouraging game.
palette, if you will.
Yes.
I'll get this back on the track. Um give me something. What's something that you are most proud of with System Shock 2 Anniversary Remaster?
Um, one of the most proudest things I think was just getting everything together, getting a successful team together, and just
Mm,
seeing it come to fruition, seeing all those interconnected bits, just those pieces just come together in a nice package that people outside of the PC realm can now enjoy. One thing that was new for us as well was voice recordings. We'd not
mm,
really ever
right.
done a voice recording session at all for a Kex game. We've never really needed to. Those older games would usually just have text prompts on the screen saying press X to jump and things like that. But Shock 2 does not have that. When you go into the training center, you get told to jump, simply press the space bar. And some guns need to be you'll need to reload this gun. Press 2 on the keyboard to equip your gun, and then press the R key to reload the gun. Press this key on the keyboard to change ammo types. And it's like, oh my goodness, this is not going to work at all. What do we do? So I had to go to Steve and say, hey, we need voice acting. It's not something we've really done on the Keck side, but we need it. And again, this was me coming from System Shock remake with
Right.
experience now. I,
Yeah.
I knew how to set the wheels in motion for this. So we sat down, we looked at what was needed to be done. I ran it through a bunch of people, but we came up with lines. I passed them off to a coworker to review, and we iterated on them. But at the end of the day, we had these lines, and then we got a vocal studio with voice actors, and we auditioned. We did the whole audition thing. I got to choose from a list of people.
Nice.
Then we came in, we did the voice recordings. I signed in the voice recordings, picked up on any changes, and yeah, new stuff for me. But at the end of the day, when we got these recordings, we then processed them, we got them in the game, and we tweaked a few things. And at the end of the day, it was just something again that was really pleased to be involved with as somebody who didn't really have the experience, but had the somewhat of a know-how from Shot Remake to bring over. That was something I was also incredibly proud about. And now we have those systems in place for anything in the future that might need
Yeah,
that.
that's
So we know
awesome.
what to do, and it's all saved away and banked for future projects.
Amazing.
What else is there? Yeah, what
If
else
if
is there?
if you could add one more feature that maybe wasn't possible due to like time or technical restraints, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know if there's anything else we could really add. We got as much as I wanted in there. That's a very good question. One I don't really have an answer to. I would
That's all
have
right. That's all right.
hopefully, yeah, I would have liked to maybe include more vault stuff. I'm sure there's a
Mhm.
lot out there, but we have another vault in the game, and it is last time I checked, this is about 1.1 gigabytes on a hard drive, just full of stuff. And I am a terrible data hoarder. I will hold all sorts of stuff. So I had these old trailers, I had still images, I had a whole load of other stuff that just kind of didn't have a home before. It would live on somebody's PC on the original Steam app had it just lived on your PC.
Right.
But now that we do the vault for all our games, it's like, okay, we have a place to put this now. So I learned how to make a JSON file. I got told, okay, this is how this works and this works and this works. Go nuts. And now that JSON is about 5,000 lines long, just absolutely full of trailers,
Nice.
screenshots, scans from magazines. And we also had something really interesting happen to us during development as well. Steve posted an image from Reddit of somebody who had an old build of the game
Mm.
from May 20th, 1999, which was roughly 3 months before the game shipped. And so I was like, okay, there is a slim to none chance here, but what are the odds of there being something interesting on that disc to include? So I said, hey, Steve, you should probably reach out to this guy, see if you can get a copy of this. And that was on a Friday. And then on Monday, he was like, yep, I got an ISO of this disc. Here you go. And I cracked it open, and the amount of undeleted content that was on
Oh,
that disc was
wow.
insane. There was stuff going back to 1997 that had never ever been seen before by anybody.
Cool.
Images of like old unused menus, menu designs, characters, old copies of levels as well. We found some unused enemies used in like the final level that never
Mhm.
made it in, alternate skins for enemies, just all sorts on
Very
this disc.
cool.
It was obviously just before they'd gone through the game and done a cleanup, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is a gold mine of stuff!" And it gave me a lot to do for the vault. There was an unused death video when you die.
Oh,
Everybody
cool.
knows in Shock 2, when you just kind of fall over, it just takes you back to the main menu.
Mhm.
But in this version of the game, there is a video that plays of Shodan talking to you, and that had only really been seen in previews, magazine previews. But
Cool.
it never made it into the final game. But we found it, we converted it, and we put it in the vault.
Amazing.
So that is another one that I'm personally extremely pleased with, was just how much content there was in the vault. And I was a little bit sad that there wasn't enough time to put everything I wanted in there,
Mm.
but with future updates, we'll see what happens if I'm
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to include that stuff.
Yeah, I know all the like even just the size of all the interviews, like that's just not feasible to include in a game file. So we had to offload those onto the website, but like
Yeah.
someday we'll figure that out. Got to talk to those
Yes.
Digital Eclipse fellows and find out how they do it.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Well, this has been great. Is there anything else about, I know we could talk for hours about System Shock 2, but I want to be
Mm.
mindful of your time. Speaking of work-life balance, you know, is there anything else you
Yes.
wanted to cover or shout out with regards to the remaster?
Shout out to I'm not going to get the name right. What He Said Studios. They helped with
Nice.
the voice acting, and Muteki Studios for helping us work on the multiplayer
Mm.
side. It was an absolute effort to get that going, and you guys did a fantastic job in getting that all sorted out for us. So thank you very much from me on behalf of Nightdive Studios. And shout out to everybody who has bought the game. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope if it's your first time, I'm hoping you are having a blast with it. If it's a fond memory that you played on PC back in the day and you're now playing it on consoles, I'm hoping you're having a fun time there as well. We have a lot of interesting plans for the future. Nothing I can go into right now, but once again, thank you. Thank you from me and everybody at Night Dive for continuing to support our games, support our work, and everything that we do. We love bringing this content to you, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a blast just seeing how well the game came together. Um, you know, taking that classic and making a definitive edition of it is really, really cool. So hats off to you and the squad. Um, I'm excited to get in there and toot around again for my yearly playthrough. So thank you again for all the effort you put into it.
I guess
Um,
what I have.
yeah.
What's your class? What's your go-to class? Do you play
I'm
Marine,
all
Navy, or
no, I'm
same?
always Navy. I'm all every day I say like every I'm always sneaking, I'm always hacking. I'm all like yeah, but on my last playthrough that I did for the trailer, I did a wrench build, which was silly. Um
Nice.
just like this thing go bonk. But I definitely tend to go towards yeah, sneaking stealth and like worming my way around, mostly because of OCD, because I want to be able to like look in what's in the crate or what's in this computer or this and that. You know, I want to get my fingers into everything versus like like gun explode big. Like I never play Marine, and maybe I should. For someone that likes playing thematic builds, like and then so like once in a while I'll do Space Wizard and do the OS stuff, because that's just like it's just like almost a different game when you're playing that way with all the psyops stuff.
It can be. For a cozy time, I do a Navy build. But yes, if we are very much the same, I do like to sneak around these environments and search every little nook and cranny to find whatever I can, and see all the little hidden, maybe story things, like, you know, if you ended up alerting these two on the second floor, but you go through an event, you might hear a little hidden conversation from them, and like, oh, now I have the keys to do something else in the environment. So yeah, I personally find that very rewarding. And Space Wizard on Shock.
Yes,
that's that is the hardcore. If you go pure OSA, you're in for a rough time. But if you are able to finish the game with a pure OSA build, then my hat's off to you. That is difficult.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really hard. And I think for me, it's more of a like, in these types of horror tension filled games, I don't want to feel too capable. And when I get too powerful as a Marine, it changes the vibe of the game, which I think is a completely viable way to play. Like that power shift is really interesting, and the game's balanced for that too. But I put a constraint on myself where I don't want to feel too outwardly capable. I'm very capable because I like have all the resources. I have, you know, all the tools I need. I'm capable, but it's not forward facing, I find, especially in immersive sims.
Yeah, I find that as well, especially with Shock 2. Now, I've played it so much, unfortunately, I know the location of every single, you know, clip of ammunition, where every repair tool is, and all that other stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I need a good randomizer mod now. I've gotten to the point where I need randomizer mods to make things a bit more interesting for myself personally now.
Well, I remember when we were playing the multiplayer, and you're like, when you're in that room, don't touch the hypo. I need the psi hypo. I was just like, I'm not even in there yet. What are you talking about? So, yeah, for sure. It's amazing. Well, once again, just amazing job on this game, and thank you for coming and chatting about it. Maybe in once it's been out and people have had their hands on, and you guys have had a break, we can revisit after some future patches, and have another conversation about System Shock, because I'm always game for it.
I am as well. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Daniel. And again, on behalf of Nightdive and myself, we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.